Hey folks, Randy Newberg here. It is, by the time this gets released, sometime in March. And we're going to talk about Montana, mostly elk and deer, because the Montana elk and deer deadline this year is April 1st. No, not April Fools. No joke to this. So April 1st is your deadline. April 20th is when results are going to be out there. So I'm here looking at my Go Hunt Insider, looking at the Montana overview, and then also looking at the Montana application strategy article that just came out. Thanks to the Go Hunt team for doing that. And like we always say, these videos are brought to you by Go Hunt, and if you sign up for the Insider and use promo code Randy, they're going to give you $50 of credit to just buy anything in their gear shop, $50 towards that. And then this year, you may have already heard, we have acquired a Wyoming Commissioner's Tag that one of you who used promo code Randy from July 1 of 19 to June 30, 2020, Go Hunt's going to give that to one of you. Not sure who, but someone's going to get lucky and get it. So let's cover the basics of Montana. Before I can even cover the basics, I better explain what your options are. Montana has a deer license, an elk license, and a big game combo license. So let's talk about those three items. One is you're applying for one of the 4,600 deer-only tags. We give away 17,000 elk licenses that could be either just elk only or elk-deer combination. So statutorily, we cap 4,600 general deer tags, 17,000 elk general elk tags that some of them can be combined with a deer license. So, as I'm explaining this, I almost feel like I gotta apologize to all of you. But you go online, and this year, again, it's only online. You can't do paper application. So you choose, do I want the deer tag only? Do I want the elk tag only? Or do I want the combination of the two, where I get an elk tag and a deer tag, if I'm successful? And the price on those is the deer only is $639. The elk only is $905, and the elk deer combo is $1,065. Now I'm going to try to explain how the system works, and this is where it really gets complicated. We have preference points for part of your non-resident draw and bonus points for part of your non-resident draw. And for the bonus points, we square them. The preference points, no. And so there's a fixed number by state statute of how many general tags we give away. And then there's a statute that says no more than 10% of the limited entry tags can go to non-residents. So let's kind of talk about how those two work together and why you need one before you can go and apply for the other. So the very first hurdle in Montana that you have to clear is, I got to get a general tag. I got to get a general deer or a general elk tag. And if I get that, then I can apply in one of these limited entry applications for a special deer or a special elk unit. So let's talk about the first step. That first step, you're applying for one of the elk, one of the deer, one of the combo tags, and it's on a preference point system. In the past, I would have said, don't bother buying a preference point. The draw odds are good enough. You're probably going to draw without a point. The last 1 and 2 years, demand in Montana, as the economy has improved, the demand has increased. So I would say it might be worth your money to be buying a preference point when you apply for your general license, your general elk or deer license in Montana. So let's use my brother who lives in northern Minnesota. He's going to be our example for this. He calls me up, hey Randy, I want to come elk hunting in Montana with you this year. All right, let's go online. Let's fill it out. And we have to check, what application are you going to make, Jace? Well, I only want to do elk. I can hunt deer back here, so we're not going to do deer. We're not going to do the elk deer combo. We're just going to do the elk combination license. And they call it a combination license. They call all of these combination licenses because they combine it with upland bird and fishing. So we go online. We check elk only. Jason has no preference points. He goes in the draw. He's got a pretty good chance he might draw that general elk tag as the elk combination license. And then there's a part where you say, if successful with my general tag, I want to be in the limited entry draw, and here is the unit I want to apply for. So we go through this, comes April 20th, Jason gets his general tag. He gets to go elk hunting in Montana. But he applied for a really hard limited entry tag, and with the 10% cap and a bonus point system where we square the points. My poor brother has 0 points. He doesn't draw his limited entry tag. But all's not lost, because with that Montana general elk tag, he can hunt most of the state. Not all of it, but most of it. And if he goes and buys his archery stamp, he can hunt 6 weeks of archery starting the first Saturday in September. And then sometime in late October, he could come back and do any of the 5 weeks of rifle that ends the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So with that Montana elk tag, that general elk tag, he can hunt the majority of the state for 11 weeks. The reason that I'm a big fan of Montana archery, our elk habitat is the high country in the fall. And when I say fall, I'm talking September. That's archery season. The elk are up in the high country. They're accessible. That's where the public land is. Hunting pressure, weather start pushing them down. Our valleys are not always private, but a majority of it's private. And access to those elk in the low country gets really difficult in rifle season. So that's why I'm a big fan of Montana's archery seasons. And yeah, I hunt the rifle seasons because I live here, and the tag, I'm not even going to tell you how cheap my tag is. But if you're an archer, for sure, Montana is going to be a high priority. If you're a rifle hunter, still come and do it. So these deadlines that I gave you, April 1st, only applies to the elk and deer. When we get to moose, goat, sheep, and bison, that is May 1st. And then pronghorn, which is our last kind of, I don't know, we treat them as an afterthought here in Montana. That's June 1st. So I think Montana, for most non-residents, is going to be a general tag state. The complication, the low draw odds when we cap everything over here in these limited entry permits to just up to 10% of them can go to you. We square our bonus points. We really stack the deck against non-residents for our limited entry hunts. But fortunately, we're really generous with our general tags. So hopefully that is helpful. Some new things this year. You'll be able to print your tag off at home on your printer. That's a change for this year. People always ask about refunds. If you draw your general tag, you can request a refund by August 1st, 2020, and get 80% of it back, and 50% if you make that request for a refund after August 1st. And then also, if you want to buy a preference point and a bonus point after the draw for 2021, you can do that between July 1st and September 30th. And then, so we have people who turn their tags back in. It happens a lot in Montana. But just because we're more of a general elk state, general deer state, those return tags go on sale usually in early August, and you really want to be paying attention because they go fast. Because all of a sudden August is there and everyone's making their plans, and a few people are without a tag, and when those Montana tags come up for sale, they're gone. So if you're going to go that route, pay close attention. If you're interested in elk, western and southwestern Montana is kind of the hotbed for elk hunting in Montana. Just lots of public land. It's where our highest elk numbers are. But there's one thing you got to think about when you come to Montana. Am I willing to hunt where there are grizzly bears, or am I not? And there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't want to hunt where there's grizzly bears. If you don't, then we have a whole bunch of units that are, say, north of I-90. Really not a grizzly bear issue there. If you hunt south I-90, you better have some comfort hunting with grizzly bears. Just kind of how it is. Our deer hunting, it's, we had some really hard winters in eastern and southeast Montana. 2 out of the prior 3 winters, not counting this winter, were really tough winters. Deer numbers got hammered there by winter. So right now I'd say Montana's deer hunting is not as good as it was 5, 6, 10 years ago, but it's, there's nothing you can do about the weather. So if you're having to plan your budget of time and resources, always be watching the weather, because if you're primarily a deer hunter, they can be way more affected by the winter conditions than the elk are. In Montana, we seldom lose any elk as a result of winter kill. So that's kind of Montana in a nutshell. I mean, I could go into all kinds of gory details, but really, I want you to know that April 1st is the new deadline. I think that kind of covers Montana. It doesn't cover it nearly as much as this strategy article here that Go Hunt put together. I bet you this is just the elk strategy article. I bet you this is 20 pages long. And that's why I talk about Go Hunt being worth it just for the strategy articles, not even counting the draw odds and everything else. So go there, sign up, use promo code Randy, get $50 of store credit, and be in the drawing for the Wyoming Commissioner's Tag. Anyhow, Montana, I live here. I love it. I love our long seasons. I love that we have a lot of elk. Don't miss the April 1st deadline. Do your application, get it in there, and good luck drawing your tag. Thanks for watching.